Okay, here we go. So it's factoring by grouping. 22819. So if you see four terms, okay, if you see four terms, then we're going to pair them up, okay? Pair the terms together, okay? And this only works with special problems, and the ones that we have are the special ones that do work, okay? It doesn't work all the time, but it will work for the ones I'm going to give you, okay? So what I see is 1, 2, 3, 4 terms, right? So I'm going to pair them up by meaning I'm going to put these two together, and I'm going to put these two together, okay? Just pair them up. Put those two together and those two together. Now, we're going to common factor. We're going to common. Remember this now?
Yeah, kind of.
So when we pair them up, let's for a second, let's just ignore the 2x minus 8 just for a moment and only look at the first two, okay? So just ignore the 2x minus 8 and let's just look at the first two, okay? So the first two, what do they have in common?
3.
They've got a multiple of 3 and what else?
X.
And an x squared, don't they, okay?
Well, couldn't you do?
So we want to take out as much as we can, all right? Does that make sense? We want to pull out and common factor as much. So if I take out a 3x squared, I'd have an x minus 4, right? If I could take out a 3x squared, I'd have an x left over, and then a minus 4, okay? Are you okay with that? And you can always go backwards if you're like, oh, I don't know what he did. You could always say, okay, well, 3x squared times x is a 3x cubed, right? And 3x squared times a negative 4 is a negative 12x. Okay, so you could go backwards and check to make sure you're doing it right. Okay. Now, what about the second pair?
2.
They have a positive 2 in common. So I'm going to take a positive 2. So I put the plus 2. Took out a positive 2. So I put a plus 2. And what would be left over inside?
4 minus x.
X minus 4. Now, this is a two-step problem. There's 2 steps. Because we're going to common factor again. Again, okay, we're going to common factor again. So when I look at the two pairs, I notice they both have a parentheses x minus 4 in common, don't they? If I look at this pair and this pair, they have. So what do they have in common? They have a parentheses x minus 4 in common. Now, here's where kids get confused, okay? I am going to take out the x minus 4. And this x minus 4 here represents both of them. Okay, does that make sense? Because I pulled it out of both. And so I like to cross it out so I don't get confused. Okay, I took out the x minus 4, I cross it out. What's left over?
X.
3x squared plus 2. And there you go. That's how you common factor by grouping, okay? But has to have 4 terms. That makes sense? Because 4 terms and you can pair them up, pair them up, okay? We've been doing trinomials, okay? This is a polynomial. 4 terms, you pair them up, okay? So let's look at number 2. So, again, same thing. Let's pair them up. These two together, first two together, and second pair go together, okay? All right, we'll look at it. And again, just completely ignore the second two because we only want to tackle the first two. What do they have in common? A 2a. Okay, they've got a multiple 2 in common and an a in common. Totally right. They have a multiple 2 in common and an a. So I'd have a plus 4b. Yep. Now,
Doesn't make sense.
what do the next two have in common?
So a 3. So what would be 3?
How about a negative? You mind if I take out a negative?
Oh.
3. And then when I take out the negative, it's going to change the signs, right?
So
Take out the negative. So I'm going to have a plus 4b. So I had to take out the negative to make them the same, because they are the same now, right? So what do the two pairs have in common?
positive 4b.
Yeah, an a plus 4b, so I took that out. What's left over?
A 2a minus 3.
Okay, good. Are you kind of got it?
I'm still.
Yeah, we did this last year, right, Cameron? Remember doing this last year?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, example 3. Okay, 4 terms. four terms, pair them up. Does that make sense? When you see four terms, do it by grouping. It's called by grouping, okay? So pair them up. These two and these two, okay?
Wait, okay. So
Yeah,
could you combine the 2x cubed and the 3x?
you are
squared?
way ahead of me. Thank you. Now, Derek already saw something. These don't have anything in common, do they? These two, well, they kind of have some in common. So Derek had a great idea. Let's regroup them. Are you okay with regrouping them? So Derek, I got a 2x cubed. What do you want to put with the 2x cubed?
3x squared.
Positive 3x squared. That makes sense, doesn't it? Let's regroup them so that we can put things together that go together, okay? And then probably my negative 18x minus my 27. So now when I look at my pairs, I've got things that I can common factor, okay? So Derek had a great idea. Originally, they didn't have anything in common. So let's just rewrite it, put the things together that go together, right? Does that make sense how I regrouped them? Nice job. So, common factor out an x squared. I'd have a 2x plus 3. Common factor out a negative. Take out a negative. I'm going to take out a negative what? 9. And I'd have a 2x plus 3. I have to make it a plus 3 because I took out its negative. So when I take out the negative, it changes its sign, right? Now it's pretty easy, isn't it? We can do it. So what do they have in common?
2x plus 3.
Right, they got the parentheses, 2x plus 3. What's left over?
2x
X squared minus 9. Now, I'm not done. Normally I'd be done, but I'm not done. Do you see anything else that can be factored again?
X squared.
Yep, I see an x squared minus 9. Could that be done again?
Yeah.
What would that factor into?
X to x minus 3.
X minus 3 and x plus 3.
There you go, totally right. So if we can completely factor it, it would be a 2x plus 3 times an x plus 3, x minus 3, okay? All right. Now, we can do these things and also solve for x. Before I do anything, on this one there has to be, first of all, 3 answers. Has to be 3 answers. Okay, I know there's 3 answers because it's an x cubed. You guys okay with that? It's got to be 3 answers because I got an x cubed. Okay, see my x cubed? So the next thing is that I have to make it equal 0. So then must equal 0. Okay, it's got to equal 0. So I'm going to bring over my 7x squared, and I'm going to bring over my 16x. Now, how am I going to bring those over? I just don't pick them up and bring them over. How do I bring them over? Subtract them. You guys agree? Got to subtract them. So I'm going to go a 4x cubed minus 7x squared minus 16x plus 28. Okay? All right? So, pair them up. Pair them up. Okay. What do the first two have in common?
X squared.
Just an x squared. Yeah, you can regroup them. This will actually work, but yes, you're right. Yeah, you're totally right. And we'll get the same answer, okay? X squared. And I'll have a 4x minus 7. What do these two have in common?
2.
Just a 2. Just a 2. In fact, I'm going to take out a negative.
Yeah, Derek's right.
It'd be a 4.
They could take a 4, okay? How about a negative 4? The 2 is correct. And then what's left over? I take out the negative. Took out a negative. I'd have a
It'd be a
4x
plus
minus 7. Okay, now if you're not sure, Hayden, you could check it. This times this, negative 16x. This times this, positive 28, right? Okay, we're not done because it still equals 0. So I've got them grouped. The two groups have a parentheses 4x minus 7 in common, right? So we go parentheses 4x minus 7. What's left over? X squared minus 4. But I'm not done. I'm not done because I can factor x squared minus 4 again, can't I? So let's go 4x minus 7, x plus 2, x minus 2. You guys okay with that? Mini equations. Okay. You guys okay with negative 2? I mean, I can show it. And you're okay with positive 2? I mean, I can show it, right,
So
Cameron?
with the 2 minis and the other one, the 4x minus 7, would that give us our 3 answers?
Yes, we're going to get 7 fourths. Okay, so if I did my mini equations, I'm going to get x equals negative 2. I'm going to get x equals positive, right? I mean, you guys okay with me just skipping a step? If I had to solve this, I'd go minus 2, right? But how about this one? This one's not so easy to see. If I had a 4x minus 7 equals 0, right, I go plus 7, divide by 4, and I get 7 fourths. So there's my three answers: 7 fourths, negative 2, and 2. Okay? You want me to show it again? Or you want me to show the minis?
No, I'm good.
Okay, all right, turn the page. All right. All right, now, these are a little bit different, aren't they? Okay, so there are not 4 terms. So what do you see in example 5? Well, you can see. What do you see? Do you see anything about example 5?
You have 2x.
Yeah, so let's common factor out at 2x. Let's see what happens. Okay. So what's left inside? Minus 1. Good. Can that be done again? Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. So today's factoring really is 2-step factoring, isn't it? Okay, I'll say it again. Today's factoring is what we call 2 steps. I did 1 step. What's my next step?
Factor it.
Factor that. Cameron, what's that going to factor into?
X plus 1, X minus 1.
Awesome. You guys agree? Okay, so today's lesson is 2-step factoring, okay?
So then you get the answer for, like, you get 0, -1.
Right. And if I had an equal sign, I would. Totally right, Derek. Totally right. Okay, but I don't have an equal sign, so I'm going to stop there. Perfect. Okay, how about number 6?
6.
Okay, I heard Isaac say 6, but what else? Totally right.
6x.
6x, right? 6x.
So then what that be?
So we're common factoring to have an x squared minus a 4x plus a 4, okay?
And that could be
Now we can do it again. We can do it again, okay?
2x.
Now the 6x is done, right? The 6x is done. Write it down. But what can I do about this one?
So that would be an x minus 4, x minus 2.
There you go. Keep going.
Minus, or plus.
-2 and -2.
So then what about the other 4?
Okay. Here's
Oh, yeah.
here's your positive 4, and when you add them, there's your negative 4.
Negative 10,
Okay, you guys see the second factoring?
Yeah.
Negative 2, right? Makes a positive 4, but when I add them, I get the negative 4, okay? All right, so 2-step factoring. Okay, so now, example number 7 technically has 5 answers. Sounds hard, doesn't it?
Not at all.
Nah, it's not going to be that hard. Okay, do you see anything? What do you see?
There's a
2.
big number cubed.
They have a 2x cubed. What's left inside?
A
X
1
squared,
x
squared
squared,
plus
and then a
x minus
plus x minus
77, right?
72. Okay, 72. Okay. Now, believe it or not, this is going to give me 0 3 times. This really will give me 0, 0, 0, but that'd be kind of silly. But it really does give me 0 3 times. Because if I go 2x cubed equals 0, divide by 2, x cubed equals 0, technically 0. You guys okay with that?
So wouldn't it really?
So you get 0, 0, 0. So you really get 3 answers, right? 3 zeros, but we'd only count it once. Agreed? That's where you get your 5 answers. Now, how about this? We're not done with this one.
So what it'd be an
X. What times what makes 72? Close.
9 and 6. No,
Close.
9
9 and 8. There we go. 9 and 8. You guys agree with 9 and 8? If it's
Yeah.
9 and 8, how are we going to write this?
minus or plus 9 minus 8.
Yep. Okay, negative 72. And if I add them, I get the positive 1. Nice job, Isaac. You should take vacation more often. That was good for you, huh?
Yeah.
So then we already got that one. And then the next would be x equals negative 9. X equals positive 8. You guys agree with that?
That's a taunt.
Okay. All right. Okay, so journal, page 72. Let's look at it real quickly. Okay.